Hey everyone, so today I want to talk a little bit about my health journey and the importance of mind, body, and soul when we are looking at our health. So for some of you that have been following my journey since 2017, yes, when I really started to undergo some pretty serious health issues. Before that, I was diagnosed in 2011 with Crohn's disease. And in 2017, I had a very large flare. And in that, really began this beautiful journey into my work that I do now. It's kind of dry in here today. So with that, I had no idea what was going to unfold and how being essentially broken and torn down to your core can really open like beautiful doors. It doesn't have to go that way for everyone. I believe that mine was that drastic because I had been avoiding and ignoring who I was for so long that it kind of took a large event for me to really open my eyes to the possibilities in our health and alternatives that we can use in our health. And then also just the deeper layers that we need to look at when we are looking at our health. So, as I said, I had a really bad flare. I felt awful. I was in pain 24/7. It was kind of odd because my Crohn's symptoms really weren't flaring. It was just this ungodly, awful joint pain, and I was going through all different sorts of testing to see like what's going on. If my Crohn's was flaring, things were coming back that it wasn't. I had some inflammatory markers that were raised a little bit, so they could see that something was going on, but it wasn't Crohn's related. So I seen a rheumatologist and they wanted to diagnose me with rheumatoid arthritis. I think that's the autoimmune one. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while. But I believe that's what it was. So then, but like, it was really odd because they were wanting to diagnose me with that, but like my markers weren't really showing that, but they wanted to like prevent, I don't know, not even preventative, but they wanted to start me on medication to treat me as if though I had it. The medication could cause potential blindness and is actually used to treat malaria. So I would have to have vision tests done every 6 months to make sure that wasn't affecting my vision. At the time, I had 2 young children, and now I have 4. So at the time, I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I need to be able to see like my children grow up, and I thought about trying natural methods. This just doesn't feel right to me. So I went for a second opinion actually. And what they uncovered was that I didn't, in fact, have rheumatoid arthritis, that my body was rejecting the medication that I was on for my Crohn's disease, and that I had developed antibodies to that. And so they told me to stop taking my medication immediately. And their recommendation was to contact my GI and get on a different medication. But it would have to be in a different family of medications. Because if you do the same family, it's the same thing essentially. So the body would still be having antibodies to that. So my body was having a reaction to this. And the next level of medication for my Crohn's was something that wasn't safe for pregnancy. And at the time, we weren't sure that we were ready to be done having children. Clearly, we were not, because we have 2 more since then. And at the time, we weren't sure. And I just was like, I don't know that I can do this. Like, it was like, you can absolutely not get pregnant on this, because it can cause birth defects. So going on birth control. And I just decided that enough was enough, and this was my opportunity to try natural methods in working with my Crohn's disease. So I took that plunge, and this may not be for everyone. My doctor told me that if I did this, I would make things worse, and that like he was not supportive of this. And I decided I was going to do it anyway. And some natural things have popped into my path, and I took that as a sign, and I met this beautiful soul who is one of my closest friends now, who really talked to me about how we can heal naturally, and some things that she had done to reverse Hashimoto's. So I was like, here we go, we're gonna do this. And I took control of my diet and eliminated, like, went on a super strict diet. AIP protocol is what it was called, autoimmune protocol. And I say diet because it wasn't really like, this wasn't to like lose weight or anything. It was simply it was a lifestyle choice. And so I went on this AIP protocol, and it basically eliminated every anti-inflammatory, or every inflammatory food, sorry, not anti-inflammatory, inflammatory food from my diet for 6 weeks. And with that, within 2 weeks of starting that, I felt completely different. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't difficult, because it was. I had to give up a lot of foods, but I knew my health was more important than those inflammatory foods. And if they were doing my body more harm than good, what was the point of eating them? What was the point of feeling miserable to eat that thing? So I did this. In 2 weeks, I felt a ton better. I mean, it wasn't completely reversed because it takes time. By about 2-3 months, though, I felt amazing. I was still learning a lot about my body. I learned that a lot of foods that I was eating every day were actually causing an inflammatory response in my body. And this had a lot to do with leaky gut syndrome, which I can do videos on leaky gut and why that is. But basically, essentially, the foods that you eat daily and consistently are likely the ones that, if you're experiencing leaky gut, you would develop an inflammatory response to, because it's leaking through your gut consistently and your body's attacking it. So it becomes more inflammatory to your body. So I did this. I uncovered like things that I've been eating, and in doing so, the healthy eating portion of it and supplements and parasite cleansing, all the things with my physical health was wanting me to slow down and see not only that I needed to take care of that, but also I needed to look deeper. After about a year of doing that, the physical portion, I started to see my gifts. I was an intuitive child. We all are. Some may experience it more than others, or maybe just don't remember. But those gifts really started to come forward again, because I had slowed down enough to connect to my body, to listen to my body, to know my body, what was hurting me, what was helping me. And in doing that, I slowed down enough to start seeing my gifts again and experiencing my gifts. And once that opened, so the spiritual side came in and opened again by dealing with my physical health, I then stepstoned into my emotional health. There was stuff that I hadn't dealt with from childhood, and a lot of emotions there that I had held onto in specifically my stomach region. So I believe that my physical illness manifested from undealt with and stored emotions that needed to be expressed. And this can happen. Things that we are dealing with, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they can come forward in a physical health symptom. Just like our food can affect our emotional health as well. So I slowed down to see that I needed to deal with this. I worked with a mentor that helped me do this, clear this. There was also past life stuff that was affecting my present life. I had a couple of different lives that I've seen portions of in my dreams, and in one I had gifts like this, and I was essentially locked away into a mental institute. So part of the way that manifested in my life was me running for my gifts because of the fear that I would be seen as crazy again. I would not be heard and understood. So I hid that away because of that experience in a previous lifetime. And so I, went through healing of that as well. And it's just interesting to see the correlation of that as well in regards to, that's our spiritual health as well, our soul, what our soul has dealt with. We don't remember necessarily our other lifetimes, but the soul imprint that you have does. And so these things can play out in our life. Um, so again, just this is just an example of my health journey. And when we see all pieces of it, we can really truly start to understand ourselves and see ourselves at a deeper level. Well, why do I do this thing? Or, where does this come from? What physical symptom am I having because I'm holding on to something? And once we really open and connect to all three areas of ourselves, we can really see, we can really see the bigger picture. Maybe we see what our purpose here is in this life. Maybe doors start opening for you and closing, because we need to close certain areas of our life too to open some doors that maybe we're waiting until we could close the chapter. And it doesn't mean that life isn't still going to have challenges, because it will. But it's just being open to, what is this showing me? Because I think that's the critical piece, is like seeing like, what do I need to be learning from this? So now I'm feeling called to do a short Reiki healing at the end of this video for you. So I'm just going to ask you to take a deep breath in through your nose and hold and release through our mouth. And again, in through your nose and hold and release through our mouth. Now I want you to do this a few more times and close your eyes if you haven't already. And hold and release. In, hold and release. And just go back to regular breathing patterns. And in this, asking you to feel into your body. Into your feelings, emotions, your spirit. What is something that you've been dealing with that you maybe have been avoiding? Maybe not avoiding in the sense that you don't see it, but avoiding in the sense of accepting it. But truly seeing it at its full capacity. Maybe it's something in your physical health. Maybe it's something in your emotional health. Maybe it's something you feel in your spirit. Or maybe it's something mental. Just need to take a moment and see that. Letting it come forward. And then asking that, what are we meant to learn from this? What changes can we make to better our situation? We're giving gratitude for God, universe, our spirit team, our ancestors for showing us this. And we ask for their support in getting real serious about making changes here. It's the only thing that we want to do here is to make a change so that we can live in full expression of ourselves. We don't want to be stuck in the sadness, the pain, the guilt, the shame. We want to live in the joyous, healthy, abundant, so we ask that God guide us and give us direction and strength to make the changes we need to make and to be open. And we ask His healing. We trust in Him to help guide us through this. And we receive His healing golden light through our bodies. To fill us up with that strength, that power. To be true to ourselves and to know this is our birthright. To be connected to Him. To use the power of Mother Nature and all her healing. The God-given tools that are placed here. May we be open to the alternatives. New things we never thought about before. For people being placed in our path. So we can experience growth live out our truth, and experience your healing touch. We thank you, Lord, for this healing as we go forward in our day. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and go forward with your day with light, love, and trust that God has in you.